You're paying $8 a month for Gemini AI Plus, and you're still using it like a glorified chatbot. You type a question, get an answer, close the tab, and wonder why you're not just using the free version. I spent the last 2 weeks stress testing every single feature buried inside this plan. And here's what I found. You're sitting on a full content production system, and you probably don't even know it exists. I want to show you something I've been using a lot lately behind the scenes. It's called Design.ai, and if you're doing anything with AI-generated visuals or video, you need to know about this. So Design.ai, basically an all-in-one creative platform. You've got image generation powered by Nano Banana 2, which produces some of the cleanest, most detailed outputs I've seen. You've got video generation running on Kling 3.0, which handles motion and scene coherence way better than most tools I've tested. And then there's a lip sync feature that lets you take any face, feed it audio, and get genuinely smooth talking head results. But here's the part that actually sold me. Everything lives in one place. You're not bouncing between 5 different apps trying to get one project done. You generate your character, create a video with that character, add lip sync, and if something's off, there's a chat-based editor where you just type what you want changed. No Photoshop, no layers, no headache. Whether you're building a faceless channel, making promo content, or just want a faster creative workflow, I'd say give Design.ai a look. I'll drop the link down in the description. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through everything Google actually gives you at the Plus tier. The models, the modes, deep research, canvas, connected apps, image and video generation, gems, privacy settings, all of it. But more importantly, I'm going to show you the exact workflows that turn these features into real output you can use, whether you're a creator, a freelancer, or someone who just wants to stop wasting time. First up, let's talk about what Gemini AI Plus actually means in 2026, because Google's naming has confused almost everyone. What Gemini AI Plus actually is. Here's the first thing most people get wrong. There is no product literally called Gemini AI Plus. What you're actually subscribing to is called Google AI Plus. It's managed through Google One. It's listed at $7.99 a month in the US. And at the time of recording, Google's running a promo where you can get it for $3.99 for the first 2 months. Now, what do you actually get for that? You get 200 gigs of storage, 200 monthly AI credits, which are used for media generation tools like Flow and Whisk, and what Google calls enhanced access to Gemini 3.1 Pro, deep research, Nano Banana Pro image generation, and limited access to VO 3.1 Fast for Video. But here's where it gets interesting. Google has 3 tiers now, and the gap between them is massive. AI Plus sits at $8. AI Pro jumps to $20 a month and gives you 1,000 credits, 2 terabytes of storage, and the full 1 million token context window. Then there's AI Ultra at $250, and that unlocks things like Gemini Agent and Deep Think, but only in the US. So why does Plus still matter? Because for most people, the $8 tier gives you access to the workflows that actually move the needle. And that's what the rest of this video is about. The Gemini app, modes, models, and how to pick inside the Gemini app. The single biggest unlock most people miss is the model picker. You're not stuck with one model. You've got 3 modes to choose from: Fast, Thinking, and Pro. And picking the wrong one for your task is like using a sledgehammer to hang a picture frame. Fast mode runs on Gemini 3 Flash. It's optimized for speed. Use it for brainstorming, quick rewrites, short summaries, rapid-fire Q&A. Anything where you need volume and iteration over depth. Thinking mode uses the same architecture but lets it reason through harder problems. Coding, math, multi-step logic. And then Pro mode gives you access to Gemini 3.1 Pro for the heaviest lifting: deep synthesis, long document reasoning, decision memos. Here's the practical rule I follow. Start every task in Fast. If the output feels shallow or misses nuance, bump up to thinking. Only switch to Pro when you're doing something that actually requires deep reasoning, or you're working with large files. This matters because your usage limits are dynamic. Google adjusts them based on prompt complexity, file size, and chat length. So burning Pro tokens on a quick summary is just wasteful. And one thing Google is upfront about: Gemini can produce inaccurate information. It's not a replacement for professional advice in medical, legal, or financial contexts. Keep that in mind, especially if you're tempted to use it for anything high stakes without verifying. Deep research plus Canvas. The killer workflow. All right, this is the section that's going to change how you think about Gemini. If you only take one thing from this video, let it be this workflow, because it turns a vague idea into a polished, citable asset in about 15 minutes. Deep research is an agentic feature. That means it doesn't just answer your question. It builds a research plan, browses up to hundreds of websites automatically, and if you let it, it pulls context from your Gmail, Drive, and Google Chat. The output is a multi-page report with cited sources. And then, this is the part most people skip. You take that report and open it in Canvas, which lets you transform it into interactive formats. Quizzes, infographics, checklists, even mini web apps. Let me walk you through exactly how to run this. Step 1. Open the Tools menu in Gemini and select Deep Research. Step 2. Paste your research brief. And I don't mean a vague question. I mean a structured prompt that includes your purpose, your audience, the scope of what you want covered, what sources you prefer, and your desired output format. Step 3. Gemini generates a research plan. Review it. Adjust it. This is where most people just click Go without reading. Don't do that. The plan is your steering wheel. Step 4. Let it run. It'll browse the web, pull your connected sources if you've enabled them, and produce the report. Step 5. Open that report in Canvas and convert it into whatever format you need. For context, I used this exact pipeline to build the research behind this video. I prompted Deep Research with a detailed brief about Google AI Plus features, limits, pricing, and competitive positioning. It produced a 30-page cited report. I then used Canvas to restructure it into the script outline you're watching right now. Now, here's a power user tip that most tutorials won't tell you. If you upload your own files or enable connected apps before running Deep Research, the report gets grounded in your actual data, not just the public web. That means if you're a creator working from a content calendar or a business owner working from internal docs, this workflow pulls from both the internet and your world. That's where it stops being a toy and starts being a system. Connected apps, your AI orchestration layer. Here's where Gemini crosses the line from answering questions to doing things. Connected apps. Google used to call them extensions. Let Gemini reach into your actual tools and take actions with your permission. On the productivity side, you can connect Gmail, Calendar, Drive, Keep, and Tasks. On Android, it goes even further. You can connect WhatsApp, Spotify, Google Photos, Google Home, and even route phone calls and messages through Gemini. And here's the killer feature nobody talks about. You can use the I symbol to force route a request to a specific app. So if you type iCalendar create a meeting with Sarah at 3 p.m. on Friday, Gemini doesn't guess. It goes straight to Calendar. The real power move is chaining these together in a single chat. Imagine one prompt that tells Gemini to summarize your unread emails, propose next actions, create calendar events for the follow-ups, draft reply emails, and push task items to keep. That's not science fiction. That's what connected apps can do today at the Plus tier. But here's the gotcha that trips people up. If you have Keep Activity turned off, most connected apps won't work on web or iOS. On Android, only a limited set, Utilities, Phone, Messages, and WhatsApp, stays available. So if you're wondering why your connected apps aren't showing up, check that setting first. file uploads, and repo analysis. If you're a researcher, developer, or anyone who works with documents, this feature alone justifies the subscription. You can upload documents, spreadsheets, images, videos, and on desktop, you can even import an entire code folder or a GitHub repo directly into Gemini. Here are the limits you need to know. You can upload up to 10 files per prompt. Videos can be up to 2 gigs each. Most other file types max out at 100 megabytes. Total video length at the Plus tier caps at 5 minutes. Pro and Ultra push that to an hour. Audio caps at 10 minutes on Plus, 3 hours on the higher tiers. And for code repos, you're looking at up to 5,000 files and 100 megabytes total. Now, here's the technique that dramatically improves accuracy when working with large files. Don't just upload a file and ask a broad question. Instead, ask Gemini to first give you a map, the document outline, key entities, tables, definitions, and page ranges. Then query one section at a time using those anchors. Finish with an evidence table where each claim is tied to a specific quote and file location. This structured approach reduces hallucinations because you're forcing Gemini to stay grounded instead of trying to process everything at once. Google themselves warn that oversized uploads can cause Gemini to miss details. So if your file is massive, chunk it down. Smaller files, better results. Creative tools, images, video, music, Storybook now, for the part that's honestly just fun. Gemini Plus includes a creative toolkit that most people either don't know about or haven't explored yet. For images, you've got Nano Banana Pro. Yes, that's really what it's called. It does text-to-image generation and image editing. Google watermarks everything with SynthID, which is their invisible digital fingerprint for AI-generated media. If you're a content creator using this for thumbnails or social graphics, that watermark is something to be aware of. For video, Plus gives you limited access to VO 3.1 Fast, which generates 8-second clips with sound. It's not going to replace your editor, but for quick social clips, intros, or B-roll concepts, it's genuinely useful. Pro and Ultra unlock better quality and more access. Then there's Lyria 3, which generates 30-second music tracks, instrumentals, vocals, lyrics, from text or even image prompts. And Storybook, which creates a 10-page illustrated book with read-aloud narration from a simple description. You can even feed it your own photos or drawings as inspiration. The workflow I'd recommend for creators: generate a thumbnail concept with Nano Banana, create an 8-second teaser clip with VO, and then produce a 30-second background track with Lyria. All from one subscription, all from prompts. Gems, your reusable AI assistants. Gems are Gemini's version of custom instructions that stick around. Think of them as specialist assistants you build once and reuse every time. You write detailed instructions, your preferred tone, structure, output format, rules, and save it as a gem. Then every time you open that gem, it already knows how to work. Where gems really shine is recurring deliverables. If you write a weekly newsletter, outline scripts the same way every time, or send client emails that follow a specific format, a gem eliminates the setup friction. You can build a whole tool belt: a researcher gem, an editor gem, an SEO strategist gem, a code reviewer gem. One limitation to know: you can only create and edit gems in the web app. They'll show up on mobile and in the workspace side panel after that. And gems currently can't be used with Gemini Live, so they're strictly text-based for now. Privacy and temporary chat. 2 privacy settings every Gemini user needs to understand. Number 1, temporary chat. When you start a temporary chat, it doesn't save to your history, and Google says it isn't used for model training. However, Google does retain it for up to 72 hours for service quality and safety purposes. Number 2, keep activity. This is the master switch for whether your conversations are stored and potentially used to improve Google's models. And here's the detail most people miss: Google's privacy notice states that some chats may be reviewed by human reviewers, and reviewed conversations can be retained for up to 3 years even if you delete your activity. My recommendation: use regular chats for normal work. Switch to temporary chat anytime you're dealing with sensitive information, client data, or anything you wouldn't want stored. And review your keep activity settings to make sure they match your actual comfort level. So that's Gemini AI Plus in 2026. The real value isn't the chatbot, it's the workflows. Deep research into Canvas for content production. Connected apps for real actions across your tools. AI credits for creative generation. And gems for making all of it repeatable. If you found this useful, drop a comment with the word plus, and I'll link my prompt templates and gem configurations in the description. Hit subscribe if you want more no-hype AI breakdowns like this one, and I'll see you in the next video.